How to program in SQL. Well, in this video, you guys are going to find out. I'm Ben and welcome to Social Genie. Now, in the previous video, I covered some of the most basic functions of SQL and went through an Airbnb data set for you guys, and you guys could follow along with me. Now, in this video, I'm going to cover a few more advanced functions. So we're going to dive into the case statement. Feel free to follow along for all the data that we're using. It's all in the description below. And be sure to watch the last video so you can get to where we are right now. With that being said, let's dive in. Okay, so we're going to cover the case statement. Now, the case statement goes through conditions and returns a value when the first condition is met. It's a little bit like the if-else statement if you've used other types of code, let's say Python or C. Now, once a condition is true, this is the key here, it will stop reading and return the result. Now, if none of the conditions are true, then it will return the else value. So this is the syntax here, which basically means the format of the statement. So we have the case, when condition 1, then result, when condition 2, then result, when condition 3, then result, else, result, end. Now, I'm going to dive into example and it'll make a lot more sense. Here we are, guys. I'm going to talk you through a simple case statement, which I've just started to write. So I've selected here, so this is the data set here. We've got all these different columns. I've selected just the 3 columns we care about. So we care about the property ID. So this is Airbnb data. We care about the neighborhood. We want to know where the property is. And we care about the price. Now, what we want to do is sort this data. So we use a case statement. And basically what we say is when the price is greater than 80, so in this case it's Great British Pounds, but when the price is greater than 80, then we want to label as expensive. Else we want to label as cheap. And then we want to end. And that is going to be imported from this database here. Is execute that, bang. And we have it there. So we have all these different, the data here, and it's labeled cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive, cheap, expensive. We can also say order by, and we'll say price. So this should give it us in a little bit more of a order that we can see. So we have all the cheap ones first. So it starts with the cheapest here, $10 per night in the city centre. That's not too bad at all. It includes Bolton, $11. We can also look at this the other way around. So there's not too many. Actually, no, there is a hell of a lot. Now I'm looking at it here. So 3,447 rows we've got here, which you can see right here. So what we want to do is look at this the other way around. So we can flip this over, descending. By default, SQL will return in ascending, so from lowest to highest. So we flip to descending, and we can see, oh, this is just crazy. Yeah, 7,000 a night, 5,000. I'm guessing some type of penthouse, mansion. Maybe an error, I don't know, but it's very, very high. City centre, 2,000, 1,000. So yeah, some very, very high numbers. There could be a few errors in here. So it could be in the original data set, there could be some errors which are classifying the price for a week or a period instead of the nightly price. But either way, we can see the different variations and we can see the label here as expensive. Now, the next clause we're going to go over is called the update statement. Now, the update statement is used to modify the existing records in a table. So we have update, we have our table name, and then we set, let's say, column 1 to whatever value, column 2, and then that can be based on a certain condition. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to say update, and we've typed in our Airbnb database, and we're going to specify Airbnb price, which is a small subtable I created, which you can see here. Very simple table. I've just put 2 properties in there. And we're going to set the property ID. So I've wrote property ID equals 999. The neighborhood, we're going to call that MCC, ManCC, shall I say. And then we're going to say the price per night. Now, this is key here, guys. Make sure the columns you're writing here, the names exactly match here, or it just won't get picked up. So it's very easy to abbreviate things, but this is coding, and really abbreviations, they just don't like abbreviations. So where that equals that, now if we click execute, that has done that. 1 row affected, which is correct. So that is occurred. Now don't worry about these red lines here. There's actually a little tip to get rid of these. Simply press Control, Shift, and R. And then as you can see, they've disappeared. So don't worry about that. Then what we do is we select the whole database and let's have a look at what changes have been made. And as you can see here, we've changed the property ID, we've changed the neighborhood, and we've changed the price per night. It's as simple as that, guys. So what we're going to do now, guys, is show you guys a larger database. So if I go back here, we'll go listings, and I'll show you the sort of main table, shall I say, not database. So this is the main table here. Just a bit of a cautionary tale for you guys. So when you're using the update statement, it will literally update the data. So it will change the data. So be very careful about what data you're updating. So what I've done here is I've selected update from our listings, set, and I'm only changing one thing. So I'm changing the neighborhood name equal to MCC, which stands for Manchester City Centre. And I'm doing this in areas where the neighborhood column looks like Manchester City Centre, because there could be different variations, and really I want to make all the different variations the same. So what I've done here, I've ran this, I've executed this, and we've had 279 rows affected. Now if I run this here, so I say select, and I look down here, we should see here MCC. So everywhere where there was that before is now MCC. Now generally I actually like City Centre a lot, so I like the original, but what we're going to do is we're going to flip that round, and we're going to say set the neighborhood to City Centre. So where the neighborhood is like, so we say man CC, which is how we've defined it previously. We run that, 279 rows affected, and basically we've got back what we originally had at the start. So that's just really a demonstration of the update statement with the like statement to just really show you how to update the different terms. Now, we could use this more for a specific case, so we could say, okay, we've seen this ID here, let's say, and we know that the neighborhood is set to the wrong neighborhood. That should say City Centre, let's say. So what we do is we say, okay, we want to update the database, we want to set the neighborhood to City Centre, where, and we want to say the ID, so we want to say ID here is, and then we could just say equals to, because we're being quite specific. So we want to say where the property ID is equal to 411843. Now really what this should do is run on just that single row. Bang. So one row affected. We've not overwritten the whole database or done some major error, some Skynet type of stuff.
Skynet defense system now activated.
Go back to there, execute, and we look at this row here, the one that we changed. We can see it now says City Centre. So it's as simple as that, guys. It's quite surprising, really. Inserting is actually a lot easier than deleting in SQL, but we can say delete from, and then we specify our database name, where ID equals 411843. Now, remember guys, again, be very cautious with the delete statement, because once the data's gone, it is gone. This is not like Microsoft Word where you can just undo it. It's gone. So be very careful. So what I would recommend, guys, is first selecting what you're going to delete. So we're going to say select from, where ID is this, and we want to delete just that one row. So this is what we plan on deleting. So we've highlighted it there, and then we want to say, okay, delete from this database where the ID is this. So what we do is we add that there, bang, 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 and we should delete that row. So we've deleted that row now, and to check, if I say select where this is here, and we can see there's no row because we've now deleted that portion. Guys, I've discovered all this through using SQL code. So well done to you guys so far, and if you're still with me, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help out tremendously with the channel. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to join the family by hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on. Comment below your thoughts. Did you find this useful? Did you find it valuable? Do you want to see more videos like this? And I hope you guys all have an incredible day, and I'll see you in our next video.